JR back here. I'm talking about scapular stability exercises. In the last video, if you get a chance to watch it, we did some really classic exercises. In this one, we're going to use some isometrics at the scapular muscles and do some active rotator cuff strengthening. This is a really great way to train that scapular to stabilize the shoulder while you actively move your rotator cuff, and that's actually what we want that relationship to look like. We want those scapular stabilizers to be able to hold firm, provide good foundation for our shoulders while our rotator cuffs work. So here's a way that you can kind of train that. Now, a lot of motions happen and a lot of sports happen fluidly and through wide ranges of motion, but this is a good way just to train those muscles. So what we're going to do is you can do the arrow or the I, the T, and the Y. And again, we're going to hold an isometric at the shoulder, the scapula, and we're going to actively use the cuff. So if we start in that I position here, I'm going to tuck my shoulder blades in my back pocket, retract them together, so I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together, and then I'm going to hold that while I rotate my arm, and the weight here on the pronator is allowing me to use a lever arm to rotate that weight. So that's probably the easiest position to do that. That's a good starting position. You want to take that up a notch, make it a little more challenging. You're going to bring it out here. Again, this weight is down in gravity. I have my shoulder blades set, squeezing them together. I'm holding them down. I don't want them hiking towards my ears. I want them back in my back pocket. I'm set. I'm not moving my shoulder blades, and now I'm just rotating my arm through its available range of motion. I'm using my rotator cuff. I'm externally rotating here, so I'm using my external rotators to rotate through. And then I'm going to go into that Y position. This is probably the most challenging position. Same thing. Be careful here not to hike that shoulder. You really got to focus on lower trap and tucking that shoulder down. I want to be nice and parallel to the ground, arm nice and straight, starting with that weight down. I'm just rotating all the way through that available range of motion. And this is a very challenging position. My arm is really fatiguing quickly doing that. You can switch that up. You can use your internal rotators too. So now I'm going to rotate backwards. I'm internally rotating my arm. I'm supposed to externally rotating, but I'm still using my scapular muscles to isolate and hold that foundation here in that T position. Really hard to do in the Y position because of your body. So you got to kind of come out in that T. I'm sorry, the I position. You got to come out in that T or that Y to get that rotation. This exercise is great for one arm at a time, but if you can get two arms, if you have something like two pronators and you can do two at once, you can really work both of those scap stabilizers and rotator cuff muscles. I'm going to show you just the Y because my camera setup here isn't the best. So in that Y, drop them down, rotate them together. Right now I'm getting both shoulders, both rotator cuffs, really fatiguing that out. Again, building that stability in the shoulder muscles, the scapular muscles while I'm working my rotator cuffs. So important for things like sports, overhead sports of throwing, hitting, everyday life, moving, using your shoulders above your head. Those shoulder stabilizers have got to be rock solid to protect our shoulders. So that's a great exercise to prevent that pain or injury potentially, or to help maybe relieve some of that pain if you're having it in those shoulders. Thanks.